Hey everyone, this is Helena Hart, and today I am so excited to be talking with my friend and fellow coach, Michelle Marchant Johnson today. For those of you who aren't familiar with her, she is a love and relationship coach who helps women attract and keep the right man for them. And today we are so excited. We have a really juicy topic. We're going to be talking about 5 powerful secrets to be the high value woman that a man never wants to lose because he just feels so good every time he's around you. So welcome, Michelle, and thank you so much for coming on my channel for the first time. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much, Helena, and so thrilled to be here and really excited about this topic too.
Yes, and for everyone watching, make sure to stay till the end of this video because we actually have an incredible, totally free opportunity for you guys, and you don't want to miss out on that one. So let's just jump right in. What is that first secret to be the high value woman that a man never wants to lose?
So thank you so much for asking, Helena. And I just want to say that we hear this term all the time, being a high value woman. And before I jump into the first secret, I just want to set this up just for a second. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the way I would like to invite you to think about this is being a woman of high value is an intrinsic thing. It comes from within you. And one way to think about it is, let's just say that we're looking at these rings. These are diamond rings, right? They're different styles, they're different shapes and sizes. And a man may see one diamond ring, and the diamond ring represents you as an individual woman. And he may be attracted to that woman and he may see her value. Or he may see a diamond ring and it may not be his style or his shape or his size or whatever. And he may not choose that diamond ring. He may not see its value. But your value is not changed or diminished in any way by whether or not a man sees your value. So the first secret, that leads into the first secret, and this is what everything else builds upon, is you know your own value. You know your intrinsic value, and it is not dependent upon what is or isn't happening with any man out there or any other individual's feedback or perception of you.
Wow, I love how you put that. So, in other words, your value doesn't decrease, your intrinsic value never decreases because of a man or anyone's inability to see it, right? I think that's so important. I see so many women who are just, they, on some level, they know they're high value, amazing women, but kind of like their mood and how they feel about themselves is so dependent on what a man is doing or not doing. Are they choosing her or are they not choosing her? Does she feel loved by him or not in this moment? And it's like this roller coaster, whereas what you're saying is you know your value and I imagine act according to that belief, regardless of what a man is doing or not doing. I think that is so important. I'm so glad you shared that as the first secret. Is there anything else you want to say on that, or do you want to move on to the
Yeah,
second?
just quickly, your intrinsic value is not changed in any way because you know your own value. And like you said, you're showing up that way in the world as a woman of high value. And it's not dependent upon any one man's opinion or how he is or isn't showing up, because the right man will see your value as long as you stay centered in knowing your own value and your value doesn't collapse in the face of someone who's not choosing you or not seeing your value. In other words, just because someone doesn't like this particular style of diamond ring, and this represents a woman, it doesn't mean that no man out there is going to choose this diamond ring. And this value of this diamond ring is not changed because one man doesn't choose to see it that way. It still has that intrinsic, inherent value.
I love that. The image I got is kind of like just like a beautiful piece of art on a wall, you know, or some person, one man might just walk right by it and not even notice it. Another guy is just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pay millions of dollars for that, right? So I really, really love everything you said. What is that second secret that you have?
The second secret is you don't overinvest in the early stages of a relationship. So again, this comes back to your own value. When you know your own value, you don't feel the need to overgive. You don't feel the need to overfunction. You don't feel the need to start doing the heavy lifting or trying to manipulate or control or to make the relationship move along or pretzel yourself into who you think a man wants to be. You're able to relax and feel and be comfortable in knowing that you are going to be able to figure out and navigate a relationship without having to do all of that stuff to try to make it work. With the right person, things are going to flow naturally, gracefully. They're going to feel good to you, and you don't need to be doing that over functioning. Sometimes when we meet someone and there's attraction, or there's, we think that maybe this person is like maybe a step above us or who we deserve, or we don't feel worthy inside. We have this need and we start feeling like we need to overgive or overfunction.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. If we don't feel worthy ourselves, going back to that first secret, just because of who we are, we're going to feel this need to do things to show a man what a great woman we are, what a fantastic partner we would be. All those things that just push a man away, that actually decreases your value in a man's eyes. The more you're trying to do things and show him how wonderful you are, right? So I mean, for everyone watching, everything Michelle's saying is so in line with everything I teach about not getting too invested too quickly before a man shows you that he wants to be with you and that, the two of you are on the same page, right? And I just love everything you're sharing here. For everyone watching, let us know your thoughts and experiences with this down below in the comment section. We love hearing from you. And that brings us to the third secret. What is that one?
So your third secret is you're out there living a rich, full, joyful life. And this is important for so many reasons, because if you're out there already living a rich, full, joyful life, you're automatically going to be attracting people. So many men have told me that one of the things that attracted to them about the woman that they chose to partner with was that she was lit up, she was excited, she was passionate about the things that she was doing. And you don't stop doing those things when you meet a guy. You still spend time with your friends, you still spend time on things that are important to you. And again, this is part of knowing your value. You don't feel like you need to always be immediately available or accessible for a new man. It's that energetic exchange that we're talking about, where he's investing before, and you're seeing that he's showing up before you're going all in and investing. But even after you're in a relationship, I've now been married for 13 years after being single for 43. It's still really important to maintain those individual interests and passions and still be living a rich, joyful, full life, because that's part of what attracted that person to you in the first place. And that's part of what keeps a relationship fresh and interesting.
It's so true. I know it can be so easy to kind of let those things go. And then before you know it, it's like, oh my gosh, all the things that likely attracted that man to you in the first place. And now your focus is just on him, right? I see that in so many women. And it's just this thing that just naturally kind of happens sometimes. So very, very important. That naturally keeps you in this kind of feminine energy, leaned back way of life where your whole world isn't, a man doesn't want to be the center of your universe, right? At least a whole healthy man. He wants to add to your happiness, but he doesn't want to be the only source of it. So that is so true. So glad you brought that up. And that brings us to the fourth secret, unless there's anything else you want to say about that one.
Yeah, nope, I'm ready to go. The fourth secret is you have boundaries and standards. And this is really important. We talk a lot about boundaries and standards, and this is something we could spend a whole lot of time on. But I just want to say this. Again, this all comes back to the first secret, which is you know your own value. When you know your own value, you are guided. Your decisions in dating and relationships with men are guided by what feels right for you, what feels true to you, and is in alignment with your own beliefs and standards and boundaries. And they don't collapse in the face of the pressure of a lot of attraction, or they don't collapse based on just what a man wants. If that doesn't feel right for you, you are able to stay centered and strong and committed to your standards and boundaries. And that, again, all comes back to you knowing your own value, your own inner worth, which is not diminished in any way just because someone else may not like, agree, or want what feels right for you.
Oh my gosh, that is so important and something I see all the time. And of course, who hasn't been there, right? It can be easy to do this when we don't really care about a guy, right? It can be easy to stick to your boundaries and standards. But then when that one guy who you really like comes along and you feel like your feelings for him kind of feel rare and special, it can be easy to like subtly start to collapse your boundaries and make exceptions for him. All those things that kind of decrease your value in his eyes. Even if he's a really nice guy, if he gets the sense that he can walk all over your boundaries, or you might say a boundary but you don't follow it up with action, it's just so important to stick to those boundaries, especially when you feel like you've met the right one, right? So I think that's so important. Do you have any tips for women who are at that place where they're having a hard time either implementing or sticking to their boundaries, even when they, especially, I guess, when they really like a guy? I know that can be difficult.
Yeah, yeah. I want to give a tip, but can I share a really quick little story
Oh,
first?
yeah. I love stories. Absolutely.
So one of my clients who's in her 50s and had, as she put it, her dating life had been a disaster up to the point that we started working together. And one of the reasons is that her boundaries and standards were collapsing in the face of what a man wanted. She was kind of going along to get along, if you will. And one of the ways that that was showing up for her was that she was, having sex before she really felt ready, and a common thing, right? We hear about this all of the time because the man may want sex faster than you feel comfortable, and you feel that pressure and you feel like you have to do that in order to keep him or maintain the interest level or that sort of thing. And so she and I, talked about what she was comfortable with around sex and the timing that would feel comfortable and right for her as she started dating this man and as we were working together. And we were talking every couple of weeks as I was working with her, and we were checking in on this, on what, on how things were going and what felt right for her. And she said, I'm still not ready. I still don't feel comfortable. It still doesn't feel like the right time for me. And she kept repeating that to this man by saying, I'm really attracted to you and I really like you. I just feel like it's still not the right time for me, but I'm looking forward to when that time comes. And so she was still letting him know that she was attracted. She was still letting him know that was a possibility as the relationship progressed, but she was holding true to what felt right for her. And this man started saying things like, "You're like no other woman I've never met. I've never had any other woman that has made me wait like this. I've never experienced anything like this." But it was like, in his eyes, the fact that she was staying true to herself while still letting him know that she was attracted and looking forward to that at the right time, her value in his eyes went up and up and up because she was being true to who she really was and what really felt right and good for her and what made her feel comfortable. So if I were to give a tip here, and that was kind of on the heels of this story, the tip would be in tune with what feels right and comfortable for you, and be courageous enough to speak what feels comfortable to you. And it can be done in a very nice, lovely, gracious, feminine way in almost every situation.
You know what? I love how your client did that. It's very attractive. It's almost like giving him something he can get later if he continues to invest and put the effort in. And it wasn't like, well, just to let you know, I don't have sex before I'm, in a very committed relationship. It was like, this feels incredible. And I'm so looking forward to that. And, when I feel ready for it. And it feels so great getting to know you in the meantime, or whatever she said was totally brilliant. She's staying in her feminine energy and expressing herself, and her boundaries coming from that place. So that was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that example. I know I get questions around that all the time. So that brings us to our next secret, unless is there anything else you have to say about that one?
Nope, that's good. Our last secret, number 5, is that you're in tune with your needs and you're comfortable in asking for what you need. So Helena, one thing that you and I have talked about, and I know you've interviewed so many men too, over the last few years, I've interviewed hundreds of men with my man panel events and that sort of thing. And so many of the men have said some version of, please don't make us guess for what you want. Please ask for what you want and give us that opportunity or that chance to be in choice as to whether we can provide that, right? That's one of the whole points of getting to know a man and dating, is to see how he shows up over a period of time, what he's able to provide for you. But so often we expect them to be mind readers. So the first key is we have to be in tune with what our own deepest wants and needs are. And then we have to have the courage to ask for what we want and to share with what we want. The example of my client and how I coached her to frame this up with her boyfriend is an example of that. She was in tune with what felt right, what she wanted, and then she was able to express that and ask for that. And he has the choice as to whether he's going to stick around or not and be patient through that process, and if he's willing to invest. But we can only find those things out by being willing to be in tune with what we want and need, and then to ask for them, and not expect men to be mind readers, and not be afraid that we're going to ask for too much or that we're going to scare a man away or that kind of thing, because the right man is going to be willing to want to please you. He's going to want to do what he can to fulfill, you know, your requests or your wants or your needs. And this is not about having someone fulfill every want and need, but, you know, some of the key things that you really want from a man that he's able to provide.
That is so true. I mean, men would just be thrilled to have a little cheat sheet as to what would make their woman happy, right? And like you said, the point of expressing your needs is not to like mold a man into some sort of robot who's only there to serve you, right? It's just to see what he does with that information. Does he seem to care about your needs and want to take your feelings into account or not? Like you asking for what you need or like expressing your wants or desires in a very kind of straightforward but feminine way will his response to that is going to give you so much information as to what kind of partner he would be or how invested he is, how he feels about you in the potential relationship. So that was brilliant. Oh my gosh. Is there anything else you have to say about this or any of these other secrets?
Just one last thing on this last one. I do think that it can be done in a really feminine way and still be clear. So it is important when we're making a request from a man that we're clear, because one thing about men that I've learned, especially being married to my husband the last 13 years, is that many of them are very literal. And so we want to be clear in our requests, and they do need to sound like requests, like there's a choice. It's not a demand, it's a request. And so some of the ways to lead into a request, I'll just model that a little bit, are things like, you know, what I'd really enjoy, or you know, what would really make me happy, or you know, what would really feel good to me, and then make the request. And then, you know, say, what do you think? Or is that something you'd be able to do? Or, you know, what do you think about that idea? Whatever. We can ask those kinds of things while still making our request clear, so that a man can hear that in that literal way that men tend to think and hear and respond to, but also in a way where it feels like a request or more of an invitation, not a demand.
Totally, yes. I was trying not to laugh too hard over here. It's so true. Men are pretty literal often and straightforward. They're not that inferential, meaning they don't always get our hints, where I hear from so many women who think that they're making requests, but they're really just like dropping hints that is just the guy who has no idea. I always ask women like, would your man have any idea that you're even feeling this way, feeling so frustrated about this thing not happening? And usually they say no, he probably has no clue that all of this is going on inside me. But men can feel that, they can feel the tension, they can feel the stuff in the air. And from my experience, my opinion, men would much rather just have you, you know, let them know what you need in order to make you happy. And then, like you said, giving him that choice if he can step up and meet that or not. So that was great. I love everything you shared. This was so amazing. Everyone, let us know what you think down below in the comments. And we definitely wanted to invite you to I'll let you talk about actually this new summit about attracting the right man. I was a part of it. I think it's called Ready to Attract the Right Guy, right?
It's called Ready for the Right Guy.
And right guy, yes.
And the link will be below the video, right? readyfortherightguy.com. And the whole intention behind this series is to help you to be ready to receive the love that you desire from the right guy. Because most of the women that Helena and I work with are not just wanting to date, but they're really looking for a relationship. They're looking for that loving, passionate, committed relationship that perhaps can go the distance, right? The right guy, someone that you can have that deep, satisfying, loving, passionate relationship with. And we have an all-star lineup on this panel. Helena is on it, and her interview is amazing. Amazing. You have to hear it. I mean, you have to tune in for that. And then we have a whole all-star lineup of speakers, all who are sharing so generously about what can really make a difference for you to be ready to receive that love that you've desired for so long. So yeah, we want you to join us. It's totally free. Readyfortherightguy.com, and then the link specifically to use is just right below this interview.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description. Just click the little upside down triangle next to the title. It'll be the first link in the description, also added to the comment section. And I have to say, the video we recorded together for that series was very advanced. It's kind of stuff I don't really talk too much about here in my shorter videos on YouTube. I talk so much about kind of just being in your feminine energy, and this is taking it to a whole new level of choosing men from that place. And it's very advanced and very subtle, but I know all the amazing, brilliant women in my community are going to absolutely love it, as well as all the other speakers. I can't wait to watch them myself. So totally free for you guys. I'm so happy to be able to share this with everyone. No strings attached. Just go ahead and click the link in the description to sign up. And Michelle, thank you so much. These were such powerful secrets. I think this was so valuable. Hopefully we can make some more videos together soon, because this was so much fun.
Yeah, I'd love that, Helena. And thank you so much for being a guest on the event. And we hope to see you all there. So click on the link below, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Yes. Bye, everyone. See you there.